Welcome to This Podcast is Making Me Thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This is Two Up and Two Down. Here's our producer, Chris, to start us off.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Up and Two Down. And today we got the junk mail. And Tony, start us off with your first up.
I'm glad I'm going first. I'll tell you that. My co-host here threw me a bone, I think. Very few written down for ups. So I'm going to take what I consider the only real up is Wilford Brimley as Postmaster General. I mean, he definitely delivers, gets Kramer going. By golly, I'm going to lead the whole thing. You like golf, do you, Mr. Kramer? Just really, really, delivers that scene. It doesn't get talked about as much as maybe it should in Seinfeld circles. We should start tweeting that out. Maybe see if people want to talk some Wilford Brimley. But we got a good story out of Dana Gold about him. Like that scene, like that performance. And otherwise, we'll get there. But I think he comes in and kind of saves the episode, if you will, a little bit there at the end. Interrogating Kramer in the mailroom there. So that's my first up.
All right, thanks, Tony. Yeah, can't go wrong with Wilford Brimley. So, all right, Chris, what's your first up?
The junk mail, yeah. Spike Ferguson wrote this back in October of '97. You know what? It's just, and listen, it's season 9. Our thoughts there. You got to go lines, okay? And I laughed at this line. The WIZ guy, when he bumped into a lady, goes, "I'm going to be in the can." Very funny line. I wasn't expecting it. I don't even remember it until the rewatch. So that guy brought it, man. I'm going to be in the can. Great line. Listen, he didn't have much else, but for that moment in this episode, thumbs up.
All right, yeah, good poll there. I totally forgot about that line. And I just chuckled right now as you said it. So, all right. Tony, back to you. What's your second up?
Yeah, given the whiz and up. Wow, this is going to be a rough one, folks. I agree, though. I mean, it's a little out of character, so that's why it's funny. I think when it's just like I'll be in the can. When Elaine thought he was just like a magical guy. Sure, that's a nice one. I'm actually my up might surprise you too. I thought George's cousin played the part well. I just thought the actress was good. I thought she was funny, chugging the wine. She's like, "Let's go for it," whatever. Like, I don't know. I noticed it as this another watch through here today as an analyst. I'm looking for ups, and I thought she did a great job. I thought she played that part well. She was kind of like, what is she doing there? We can get into that. I don't know the whole story, whatever. I'm just saying the actual actress and the performance, the same sort of as O'Hara saying that the can line delivered. I thought her couple of lines at dinner with George were pretty funny. So that's my second up.
All right, there's 3 guest stars as up so far. Chris, what's your second up?
The cousin. Wow, that's okay. Hey. You know what? Listen, they weren't at their best. But I'm going to throw Estelle and Frank a little bone here, okay? For some reason, I like her saying, "Chinese food," and then Frank hangs up. Again, I'm doing lines, but I thought it was pretty funny. The old fake voice, but it's obvious who it is, And then, the whole, we're cutting you off, the whole thing. I'll give them, listen, this is season 9. They needed Frank and Estelle. We know that. So they elevated it to some degree as best they could. So Estelle and Frank, her saying Chinese food specifically, second up.
All right, good one. Tony, we're going to do the down. So what do you have for your first?
His up is my down. I have to do it. I have to piggyback and do a switcheroo. I thought that was terrible. I think this episode ruins the Costanzas for me. I think it's one of their worst. I can't take it with the whole heavens. We're going to go make love now. They cut him off. It's so unlike them. Bringing back the sing bit that George did to them with the whole Chinese food. I didn't like that at all. I just think it just is not Estelle and Frank. to Harris' point, I think they were trying to save it with them. I think they fail. I think, in fact, they bring it. I think it just ruins Frank and Estelle in this episode. Them all of a sudden they're having sex every other 5 seconds. They're telling George. I mean, it's just weird. I don't get it. It's not them. They're supposed to be arguing all the time and yelling. This is all of a sudden now they're in love and they don't like George. I don't know. I don't know what Spike Ferriston was thinking. It doesn't sit well with me at all. I just I don't know. It's going to be a down for me. That's my first down.
All right, Chris, what do you got? What's your first down?
And I agree with you on principle. Like the cousin stuff, which is bizarre. You like the character. I like the one line her saying Chinese food. I got to chuckle. Okay. When we see the grade, you'll know a chuckle is a chuckle. Okay. So, man, there's a lot of downs. Whitey Fisk. Okay. First off, how does Elaine know about George's childhood friend? Oh, Whitey Fisk. Listen, this is what, 97? Let's say Elaine's been around since, I don't know, 89, 88, and, as Jerry's girl, or ex-girlfriend anyway. I know she wasn't in 89, but, like, there's no way she would know who Whitey Fisk is. The whole Whitey Fisk thing bothered me. The whole Summer You, the whole thing. There was a lot, but I'm just going to stick with that as my first down. Like Elaine jumping in on it for some reason just didn't hit well with me. I can see Jerry and George talking about it, and then mentioning Whitey Fisk again. Down.
Yeah, I can see why that would bother you. Yeah, how would Elaine know exactly? So Tony, back to you. What do you got for your second down?
Yeah, I wrote the same thing down. When Elaine's whatever happened to Whitey, are you kidding me? There's no way she would know. It's a childhood friend. It was like when they were 10 years old. They don't just terrible. Listen, again, I know where you were going with that up. You were talking about one line with the can. My second down, though, is the WIZ guy. And namely, if you want to do a specific thing, is the ending when he just jumps up and starts dancing around monks. That, for me, has got to be, I mean, it has to be a bottom 5 scene of all time in the show. It just, I mean, what is worse than that? This guy hopping up in monks and dancing around saying nobody beats the WIZ. First of all, I don't remember. There was never a guy like that for the WIZ. The WIZ didn't have a guy like that with the hat on and everything like that. It was just nobody beats the WIZ. Nobody beats the WIZ. I mean, I don't understand anything about that guy. The smile thing with Elaine, I don't get. The dancing around at the end, I don't get. To Howard's point, he did deliver one funny line to Can, but other than that, I mean, especially the ending, I just don't get it at all. It's just when Jerry shows Elaine on the like Jerry has it recorded on his VCR, the whole thing, just terrible. The WIZ storyline is my second down.
There you go. Tony beats down the WIZ. All right, Chris, what do you got for your second down?
Yeah, I always wondered the tape thing. I didn't get that either. That wasn't like today's where you could pause it. He had a tape anyway. Oh God. Well, I'd probably save a lot for the grade. There's just so many little kind of pieces here. But another one that stuck out. God, this episode felt like an hour. That's you know what I mean. When something feels like an hour because there's so much going on and none of it's positive. It's Kramer trying to buy Jerry's van. Like, okay, maybe you got a chuckle of him writing the ad, like interesting trade, like, okay, but then calling Jerry and then actually going outside with him and like negotiating with Anthony Quinn. What is going on? I don't even know. Like, what am I watching? Yeah, help me, America! Like, and then I guess he took it over and then did the whole, mailman protest thing. Like, they must have cut a scene because that, like, I guess Jerry let him do that. I don't know. They kind of just like he just took the car. So I think there's just a lot of like missing pieces as well. I'm probably glad that. But so Kramer trying to buy back Jerry's van after writing the post. Second down.
All right. Thank you, Chris. So those are the ups and the downs. Tony, we're going to go over to you for your comments and grades. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, O'Hara hit on all topics there. I covered the Wiz. Whitey Fisk was a horrible one. I didn't like the parents, which is if I don't like the parents, where are we going with this? Um, what I'm gonna do now is talk myself out of the lowest grade you could possibly give. I think Big Juicy Van gave me a laugh. What O'Hara mentioned, writing it down. I thought the ending, Seinfeld's Van by Dana Gould, gave me a chuckle. Um, Wilford Brimley delivered. Not talking about Newman at all, but I thought Newman played his part well. If you want to give something another up there, I think Newman deserves it. Bucket stuff, I can go either way with it. I got a laugh here. I thought it was played out at the end. I don't know what Newman's doing with the bucket in his head. I thought there was maybe one funny joke there with the bucket if you want to throw that bone. I mean, I really I don't give a lot of. It's just hard. I'm gonna the D. It's probably should be an F. I don't have a lot of D minuses on my card. I think I have to utilize that grade a little bit more when I can. That's really the only thing stopping me here. It's a bad episode. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a D minus and an F is a very fine line. 61, 60, something like that, right? 62 tops. But yeah, I mean, I have an F written down, but I'm going to lean to the D minus end of things just to give it a bump. It's probably because of Brimley, to be honest with you. I don't know what else to say. D minus for the junk mail.
Yeah, not much more to say, Tony. I don't think you could give it a better grade than that. So, Chris, what do you got for your grade?
Listen, the main four, all four stories are awful. Point blank. Jerry with the van, running into the park. You didn't mention that. Digging a hole in the park, and then the bum goes in there after. I mean, okay, put that aside. The Elaine stuff. Poor Putty had to come back into this mess, right? Breaking up every time again with this and that. With the Maytag line. I'll give that's probably the best line of the show. Kramer, I want out permanently. Maybe the mail thing could have been one scene. You don't build a whole show on it. The whole episode was like a Pottery Barn. Like, okay, who did I miss? George. Okay, George dating the cousin. Are we serious? Are we serious? Spike Ferrison should be ashamed of himself at this. I mean, and then you mentioned Frank and Estelle, two iconic all timers, Tony's favorites. This show ruined them. Think about that. 61 is a grade? More like 21. The junk mail's an F, and an astounding F.
Well, there you go, folks. Tony didn't want to go there, but Chris crossed the line and went there, gave it an F. So there you go, folks. If you think it's any better than those grades, let us know in the comments. But thank you guys, and we'll see everybody on the next one.